Hey guys, this is Zlewikk and welcome back to our EU4 3 months achievement run, where I'm trying to get the hardest EU4 achievement, starting as Ryukyu and conquering the whole world. You see that our strategy was forming Mughals, then taking Mandate of Heaven, and then switching our religion to Hindu. If you want to know how I did that, please do check 2 episodes from this playlist. Goals for today. In 11 years, global trade spawns. I want to stop that from happening because we want to keep the artillery compatibility from here and province war score cost from here. It's stronger than absolute is for our build. Now to do that, I need to have a trade node with the highest value. Coromandel is the goal to achieve that. I need to have around 70, ideally 80 value to be sure, to beat the English channel. That's the usual one. It's doable.
Possible.
I definitely have to conquer more here in that few years, get into Malaysia more, and get into Japan. All of this will be my next 10 years goal. Then at the same time, it's not all, because I have to have the strongest node, I have to be the strongest power in that node, I cannot have capital there, that's already done, and most importantly, I cannot own a single trade center. Which means I'll have to release subjects here and feed them with these provinces. So how about I release Madurai, that has all of these cores, and feed them with these provinces. This trade center has to be in their hands. Because you see, it could be a trade center level 1, and then I would block the global trade from happening until 1630. Then it would happen. So that might be also an idea, just actually don't feed the subjects with the provinces, but keep all of these trade centers at level 1, and then a bit later I can feed subjects into it. And then by the very end of the campaign, right, where in the last 10 years when I want to finish, I'll have to eat the subject, because to get the achievement you cannot have subjects, and I can allow the global trade to happen at this point. So let me start by attacking Malacca. They're still pretty weak, you see, they don't have many troops. So it's time to leverage that ASAP. You can attack Langshan at the same time. Could do unify China for like 1 or 2 provinces, but no, show superiority. There also goes to a last offensive idea, which is nice, boost our discipline for the future wars. But also spinal construction. Could also, this is okay, religious unity. So I don't really need any of this, but just in case I need more religious unity. But I don't need it. It's also time to declare on Japan. It's actually fighting with oil right now, so I should have some of their troops on the mainland while I can go and invite Japan. Let's see if we can win with Japan on the navy. I'm not so sure about that, especially that they have more heavy ships. We might want to build a bigger navy. Oh yeah, actually galley superpower, guys. Yeah, galleys are winning. I'm gonna lose a few ships as well, it looks like. But I captured more than I've lost. Easy peasy. Also, they don't even have tech 15 yet, but still the morale is insane, even without that. They have 1 less base morale, and still the morale difference is just 0.9. And it's a hard battle that we barely won. Hell yeah, we'll defeat in the Malaccan navy as well. Oh yeah, from Malacca, I will take all of these provinces. Maybe more if they accept. Something like that. Are we sure that it's not gonna cause the coalition of half of the world? Okay, I'm gonna trust my gut and just send that peace deal. Remember, I have 80% co-creation cost, so it costs me nothing to core. It's 140 mana, and it takes 7 months. Let me just make sure to add these trade centers or trade company, because it's a crucial part of the strategy that I just mentioned to you, right? To be able to transfer trade through Malacca. That's why we also have to attack Pasai and some of the other tags. It's also time for yet another war with Bahmanis. They still have insanely big army, but it doesn't have tech 15. Why at war with Bahmanis? Let me attack Bengal, because they will be guaranteed otherwise, and I will be able to also break that Gujarat Ottomans alliance during that war. Yes, very cursed. Yeah, just a standard 1592 war run. 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies at the same time. My only bottleneck now is the amount of armies. I just don't have enough to handle all of this war at the same time, so I have to keep prioritizing. Especially that AIs are widely having level 4 forts already. I can piece out 2 wars at the same time. Let's see how much of overextension we can stack. First of all from Japan. Second of all from Lanshan. Just look at this. Look at this beauty. I also just assimilated the Korean culture, which is idea cost. And we've got 317 of overextension. And we just hit the GAF capacity. This just cost... Oh boy. I don't have enough mana to core all of this? That would be a shock. Let's use this. Yeah, that's right. There's just a few promises. I'm gonna core it in the like extra 2 months. Probably if I concentrated on development, yeah, I could just core it all as doesn't matter. Obviously, there are 2 parts. Like we not added to the trade companies yet because I don't have GAF cap. But let's start building some card house. Yeah, some state houses are also about to be finished. One here. The one here. So you're not taking any reforms because none of this that I can take is really useful for us. Well, maybe meritocracy, but I don't want to lose 70 now during all this wars that I'm running. I might take the meritocracy later. And mainly now, there's just one that I want to take. There's just admin efficiency, but I need much more crown for this. You see, this is how many rebels I had loading because of that overextension. It was like 300. But now that I core these provinces, look, not a single province with level soldering. Of course, I had to increase autonomy in a few provinces, like 10. That's how stable the country is, and that's how strong over 75% of co-creation cost is. Because you core the provinces faster than the rebels reload. Also, here's an update on the religions. See, most of the countries actually already converted to Hindu. Our true religion is 57%. And then obviously I have some extra bonuses increasing it. Now, also for the countries that are big, like Langshan, I just started eating them, remember the last episode. I also keep declaring on their tributaries to keep decreasing that truce time. Truce with Bahmans is very important to get all the commander trade centers. I took 2 from Kotte separately, and I think I'm taking now all the remaining ones. And that peace deal, plus fixing borders and taking trade center here to just transfer more trade power to Coromandel. This is fine. Also the cost of core is not that bad. GAF capacity is still okay-ish. I can also go ahead and piece out Bengal, also remaining trade centers to be taken. It's not even fully annexed, as you see. After a month, I will have exactly enough admin mana to core this. We started this episode 5 years ago, and that 5 years already got 700 development. Oh boys, we just discovered Europe. So we can check the global trade chance. Constantinople has 62. English channel is 80. That's not gonna be easy to beat, but we'll try. Now I will spend this 4,000 ducats that I have saved. I'm not making 500 a month. To improve various trade centers to just start consolidating our trade, and I'll move my main node. How about we make Madurai? Just most importantly, move it to Coromandel. You see, with just small tweaks. Here, just only in India, I already have 63 value in Coromandel, and a lot of trade building stolen, but keep in mind, I can't improve any of these trade centers. What I can do is to make sure every one of them has a marketplace, and use the trade company improvements. You see, it is already 83. So more than in English channel, but I still have to boost it because it's right now just barely. And I did all of these changes to ensure, right, I will stop the global trade from spawning while not losing any of the trade income. I kept it around the same level. And this is also before any trade chips, which you see consolidating here. And actually the next decree I'm gonna take, I think I was taking unrest earlier, but I'm fine with unrest. I'm gonna take tax meta and states governing cost, which is gonna be pretty useful, yes, to handle this, but also increase even further my income so I can keep scaling. That's also mission fulfilled, an outward focus, which gives me perforations and some other shit that I don't need. I need a country that is capital in Europe to become my ally. Okay. These guys are pursuing of Austria. We could try getting a nation like Poland to ally us. Or Lithuania, they're actually independent. We have ships in Malacca. Do the ships count already? I think so. Ships in Malacca, I have 101 Valiant Coromandel now. Easy peasy. And this is before I organize Siam. That's gonna be like 110 probably. Less, 106. Yep, 106 value. And that gives me force limit, which is gonna be important mid-term, because we want more force limit to be able to take the military hegemon for the province Force Caucasus. To shorten my truce with Japan, I'll be able to just simply attack Orochoni, because Japan is guaranteeing them. I'm really curious how our income graph looks like. Yeah, these last adjustments are just pure genius. I should generally look for enemies of Ottomans, because that first war of the Ottomans is gonna be crazy hard. So how about we also improve relations with Austria? You see, we've got February 1600, and global trade didn't spawn. And it will not spawn as long as I keep Coromandel, or some other node in the future, the highest node, with the requirements that I mentioned earlier. I also feel like I don't need all of these subjects anymore. So let me cancel all of these tributaries. And we're gonna eat them in a few years. We're gonna eat a big chunk of the Indonesian just one war. Pretty much all of this to be annexed. Yeah, just another casual 200 overextension. Yeah, I'll be slowly wrapping up my business in Asia. And preparing for the next big step, which is the mentioned war of the Ottomans. We just need Austria to actually even notice us. They don't know I exist. As soon as they know that I exist, I could guarantee them. Will that make you notice me? Doesn't look like it. Oh, they're gonna notice me because they have Russian succession war. But I don't want to help Austria keep the Russian succession. Russia as a subject. That would be a tiny bit too strong. But on the other hand, if I keep them as my allies, I can use both Russian and them against the Ottomans. And later in the game, I'm gonna stack anyway so much province Force Caucasus that's gonna be easy to destroy them. I will accept this call to arms, but just stay AFK inside that war. It's also time to start investing into some grid projects. And there's one here that I really like in Duaba. There's one in Bellaria I also like, because that one gives me religious unity. There's another one here that gives Trance of Heretics. But anyway, Duaba is what I want because that's the minimum autonomy territories, which is gonna help me increase my overall force limit. And also max power, which is also a bottleneck now. So let me just do this. See nothing here in the first level. Not gonna speed this up for now. And I think there's also here, yes, tier 3 guarantee form for the Xiaomino auto in territories. So it's 453, 186, 347. $186, 195, 375, 472. There's like a coalition forming against us. Okay. My truce with these guys ended. Let's just attack them. And I think with this war, yeah, there's no chance anyone else would just do the coalition thingy. My troops with Flanshank also ended, so I have to attack them. My troops are just not ready for this. The closure of China. See, at the end of the game, I can get Tekos Adiakos insanely good for just cost of some provincial trade power, which is totally fine for us. We've got also the arrival of the Jesuits. I could get 300 power points in exchange for just changing one province religion to Catholic. Yeah, sure, that's absolutely worth it. For just 400 power points, I can take Tech 17, which is very important because that gives me gov capacity. But more importantly, admin efficiency. So, yeah, Ottomans War Score cost is only 150 now. But you see, I only have 45% province War Score cost stacked. That's not enough. For my calculations, we could even get 85, although 5% out of this 85 is rather impossible, so I'm aiming for 80% province war score cost in this run. What I can achieve is improving this monument to level 2, which gives me 10% minimum autonomy in territories. So now territories are at the level of 75% autonomy, so we got 600 income, 444 limit and 240,000 maximum power. Another monument that I want to invest into is the Bangkok Palace, because that's GAF capacity, but also aggressive expansion impact. Conquest of Burma gives me more of armies. Yes, that's gonna be super useful for the Ottomans. And I only like one province here. Oh, Mr. David. Yeah, I have to defeat them. I also need more like any cav being built. For that bonus at the end of the game. Plus, I can also get some land fire damage until the end of the game, because it's until the end of this age, which I'm gonna keep. And actually, cav for this deck is being mega OP. So it says 3.5 shock and fire. Infantry has 2.25. Keep in mind, I have cav cost modifier, so my cav is pretty much as expensive as infantry is. So I might want to switch a big chunk of our army into cav army, because I even have cav to inf ratio at 75%. With Austria allied, and remember it's Austria-Hungary, Russia. But Russia is disloyal, so they might tank Ottoman attack at best. But with that alliance, you see I'm getting diplomatic reputation, advisor cost, power projection, which is useful. I'm just below 50 now. And now if I change my advisor to improve relations temporarily, I'm gonna get also +1 diplo power for 5 years. I also, since my cav is so cheap, it's time to update some of the stacks. So I want to build a stack that is, let's make it 10, 10, 10, or maybe 12, 8, 10. And I can update a few stacks on that once I have money, but I'm making so much money. But anyway, I have first to attack Bahmanis. To clear some more borders and click some more missions thanks to that. I also realized my state maintenance is quite low, so I changed all of the state edicts to manpower. So now I'm having 300,000 max manpower, 3,000 manpower a month. With that cav build, I'm gonna have a change of pace, which allows me to get either movement speed or cav shock plus 0.15, which is not huge. You see current shock is 3, so I'm gonna get what, 5% more shock compared to what I have already. I'm gonna go for the movement speed. With the size of our empire is just gonna be much more useful. But there's second mission, Gunpowder Empire, that gives me artillery command ability and land fire damage until the end of the game, as told you earlier. That's also innovativeness and a cheaper advisor. Yeah, so we've got already 25% of artillery combat ability. Finally enough, Malta is in the hands of the knights, and I hope it is gonna stay that way. And I could vassalize them with no distance between borders. But you know what? If I conquer this lands, or even this lands from Ottomans, the distance between borders would be good enough for us to vassalize them diplomatically. That's why I already improved the relations. With Bahmanis, this peace deal seems a bit random, but I'm not accepting that. I have to see one move further down to get this. But there is a whole plan to this peace deal, because it's supposed to help me push a few missions. Secure the Hatch ports, which is just upgrading some trade centers and giving me a privilege for trade efficiency. And a lot of money. Yeah, that's gonna help me improve some grid projects. Across the Vindhyas, conquering the lands here, gives me GAF capacity and religious unity. Very nice. Conquest Orissa gives me, let's take a look, Albimana, Deep Rep, Infantry Command ability, let's go. Control to Dash gives me power points from the Prestige. And Marafa Castle, I could replace Rajput with Marathas. Honestly, I don't want to break anything with my estate setup. Let's just take this instead. Riches of Golconda gives me more gov capacity. Army tradition, max tolerance of heathens, but I just want tolerance of the heathens, not max tolerance of heathens. Goods price modifier for 30 years, inflation, 1,000 ducats, and again, prestige converted into power points. Now, for 4 of Coromandel, I'll need 3 more provinces here, which is gonna give me admin efficiency. And here's also 1 more province here. Very nice, I like the outcome. Now we go and kick the Ottoman ass. Obviously also peace out Pasai, but it's because it's good with the cooperation code set up to piece this in phases, many pieces at once. So this way you've got another 160 overextension, 200 mana to core it. And we are ready. Let's just go for the great projects. So this is already level 2. I don't need it now, my gov capacity is fine. I can leave the upgrade for later. Let's upgrade this to level 3. Yes, my autonomy in the territories is even better. You know what I want to do at one point, once I have infinite money, which is gonna be doable soon. I'll be able to half state a bunch of stuff, because we have half state these lands. The autonomy is not gonna be 70, but 20%, with half of the government cost and no need to spend admin mana to core it. You see, I could start doing that in some lands already, and I'm gonna start doing in the lands where I don't have the trade companies. Let's start with some poor lands around here and here in Persia. Just look that this is still gonna be fine. 1058. The autonomy, this is a better example, is just 30. So look, now with just minimal impact on our gov capacity, our income is already 800, maximum price 360,000, and the force limit up to 600. So I will soon start already investing into forcing buildings, because we won't reach that 1 million troops for the province war goal cost. The only disadvantage of that strategy is that I can't click core all anymore, right? Because I want to call all of this stuff. We have to core manually what we want to core. Let's look at the army quality of the Ottomans. No manpower. Let's choose an ass at this point. Let's see their army quality. Worst army quality. Do they have CAF? They do have CAF, but not as good quality as ours, I would assume. How about... So they have allies. So obviously to counter these allies would be good to call in Austria, but we have to have in mind that this is a risk of them losing as wars come from winning battles. What is the level of the force that the Ottomans are running? I would assume it's level 2 everywhere. Yeah, just have better things to pay money on. I think I will handle this war myself. Start 2 front lines, one going from here, one going from here. That should be fine. Let's do this, guys. Declare war. Holy war. Actually, Egypt will not join it, which is actually funny. No, I'm not gonna call Austria. I'll do it myself. Forced tributary state. Let's do this.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
Let's see if they have any decadence. Okay, that's not the Ottomans. I have to get on the Ottoman fort. And obviously, we have to catch up opportunities like this one to attack a stack, but yeah, I'm blocked by the fort. Let's see. No decadence. But I have spy network and my own siege ability. They're at war with Kitara, so their armies. The Ottoman armies are somewhere here, I think. Okay, without mountains, this is much better. The siege ticks are just 19 days each. I decided to go with 3 small front lines. Like one very small, just 2 stacks, Sijnam, Arabia. Second, we'll be having 3 stacks here, another 3 stacks here, which should be fine to fight any battles, including killing this 6k from Persia, from fake oh. Okay, let's try it. Oh, I didn't notice that. They have so many more troops. Or these guys are too slow, aren't they? Yeah, they won't be on time. But wait. Could do that. Let's see if we can hold the battle long enough. Ceramic quality again. Oh, I'm not seeing the Ottoman army. That's mine. And But let's see this. They actually use more cav than I do, because actually on this particle stacks that I use for this battle I don't have cav. I might have a chance of good rolls to survive this long enough for this guys to reinforce. Oh, there's actually level 4 fort here. Yeah, they caught me in the right moment when I was just changing the front lines. And I think I'm losing this battle, I'm too slow. Oh, am I winning? We won! Look at the losses and the cannons. That manpower is gonna evaporate quickly. I mean, that army, because there's no manpower.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
It's so funny, but I can separate piece Persia. But that's cost too much diplo points. It's fine, I don't have to take them now. Yeah, let's go on the elephants! Destroying the Ottomans! That war is gonna be a massacre. Elephants! Another 15 cav compatibility for 20 years. They have just no chance. Why did they even ally Austria? I think I'm gonna dissolve that alliance already, because I need their terrains. I can't even show you that, but I need their terrains for the province wars cost. Oh, and then I got 50% of cotton market, 25 of spices, silk and dyes market, and 15 of cloth market. I can take the interpret, which is that's so useless. I expected something better. Bengali waving gives me a lot of money. Industrial power base, another money. And even progress growth, that's super useful actually. But also goods produce modifier, just goods produce and production efficiency. Economic power gives me giant's privilege. 25% tax, 25% production, construction cost. Oh, that is so strong. But I don't have giants. The base the reprise. Do I get it for Vaishyas instead? Yeah, I think I'm just not getting that privilege. If we count only battles, look, they've lost 150,000 troops in the battles. I've lost 55,000. That's honestly one of the easiest wars with bigger nations. Like, some wars in India earlier on were harder than this one. This way they're down to 200,000 troops already, and I'm about to piece them out. I think a big chunk of their armies are just coming back right now from Kiel. I'll just find it. There we are, guys. This is not the nicest peace deal I've ever made, but it's gonna first of all hurt the Ottomans. Second of all, give me enough French, I hope, for the Knights peace deal. And finally, give me a border with Austria, so I can go after the Balkans. AE-wise, doesn't matter. Let's take a look here. That's the most important part. Yes, that's gonna work. Oh shit, guys. Oh shit, I clicked core all. I just wasted 600 mana and a lot of gav capacity. You know what, guys? I will save scap this and send the peace deal again, because yeah, that's a misclick. I can save scam and misclick, right, guys? I'm also working before that repeated peace deal on increasing the great projects. This gives me now tolerance of heretics and heathens. I want to get this to 1 for some extra bonuses on our mission tree. Let's also get that more gav capacity already. And there goes the repeated peace deal. A bit different actually, I took more provinces where I need it. Let's again go ahead and ally these boys to get the vassalization. Now I'm not gonna, it's almost to round 3-7. Now I have to do it manually as mentioned earlier. You see 400 power points difference is massive. Another toll mission, the Grand Trunk Road. It required me to def a lot of provinces here. It's giving me for this provinces some trade power. Yeah, mech. Big mech. How about Warehouse of the East? Oh, I just need 55 more def clicks. Yeah, max of absolutism. What absolutism? And finally enough, there's so much devastation in the lands that I just conquered. Right? It's just here. Yeah? And some in India. Alright, that's the tsunami. But my date is decreasing. Why is it decreasing slowly? I think I just need forts here in Japan to counter the tsunami. In 50 of Karmlands, I will get prosperity on all of these provinces that I just half stated, like progress. Yeah, absolutely doesn't matter. Yes. Yes, and decrease autonomy where the half states weren't as strong. That's damn good. Like 30 here. This, with the amount of the states and cities that we're having. States guarantee cost. It will be strong, but it gives promise for Skokos, which I don't want. Here's my vassal, the knights. What the hell is this? The Cult of the White Lotus. So in 10 years, I will be able to next them and get them monument. In the meantime, I can go on and start eating Persia. Definitely a problem will be envoy travel time. And that's why I'll, next for the Ottomans, I'll take a monument here to fix that. And yeah, I'll not be moving my capital to Europe because I anyway plan to move the capital to the New World, because my next idea group is at last exploration. But I'll work on that on my next video of this series. And that video is gonna be probably one of the most satisfying, because we'll take the military hegemon for Skokos, we'll take the Malta monument, we're gonna go for Alhambra monument, we're gonna release Deccan in India for another admin efficiency, and we're gonna get Province War Skokos from the Balkans, which is gonna be the final stage of our setup. So you bet, if you don't subscribe yet in this series, do subscribe right now, and obviously support the channel for liking this video as you did in the previous episodes. I really do appreciate that. Bye!